TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Why did you wind up leaving the WWE at that time?
Well, at that time, there were several different things going on. Number one, at that time, I was just coming out of the Lex Luger angle, and it was very, very hot, but we never got to take it to a pay-per-view because Lex Luger was going back to WCW.
Right.
They knew that. And, last thing you want to do is you're going to send the guy off to WCW. It makes all the sense in the world. And you're going to let him beat someone on major TV, very strong finish, make him even stronger as he takes off and leaves your company. So I can understand that. So we finished that off on a Monday Night Raw, and then Lex is leaving. So I was kind of like left in limbo where to go next for the first time in my career.
Right.
After 5 straight angles, 5 straight years of running, for the first time, where am I going? Also, reason why, where am I going? A lot of the guys had already started going to WCW.
Right.
There was also that in the air, what's going on here? So, with WCW, so I think that the focus a little bit was not as sharp as what it normally was, because what was going on with WCW, Hogan and Macho Man, and guys like that, it was a big impact, these are, again, logo WWF guys, now they're at WCW. Also, during that time, they had not a lot of top stars. During that time, if you remember, the guy that came in that they wanted me to start working with at that time was Ahmed Johnson. If you remember Ahmed Johnson, I think Tony Norris, I'm not sure if that's his name. So I was working with him, and Jeff Jarrett had tried to work with him before, and it just wasn't meshing. And he was really rough and kind of hurting guys, not deliberately, but just, not doing things, properly. So, it was just not, for the first time, things were not just flowing properly, trying to work with him. So they needed help with other guys. And also during that time, things in my personal life that I needed to get straight with my family life. Okay. Things that I needed to work on personally with my wife, which I'm glad that I did.
Right.
So the timing at that time was a timing that was obviously a time for Tatanka to get away from WWF, and for WWF to, I wasn't doing anything with the Tatanka character at that time, and didn't know the next step, as they advised me. And it was good because I needed to go home. I'd been on the road for 5 years. I needed to spend time with my wife.
Right.
It's not an easy business that we do. Why? You're gone 300 days a year.
Yep.
You have to think about that. The person that you share your life with sees you 60 days a year.
Yeah, it's tough.
And they don't see you 60 days straight. They see you 1 to 2, da-da-da-da-da-da. So it's not easy. And so you got to be very, very strong. So it was good for me to get back with my wife, spend time with my wife. Thank God I'd been very, very smart with money, put money away, had bought a nice home because of my success at WWF. And a lot of other things I paid off. So I was able just to focus on for 2 years straight. Just not even thinking about wrestling, not thinking about doing anything. WCW called me. During that time, I was still on contract. But Eric Bischoff himself, I spoke to him. But I said, listen, I'm still on contract. He says, well, please call me as soon as you get off contract. He says, I'd like to bring you right down to a Nitro. Because he had already plans. That's when they were.
It was the wars.
That's when they were bringing everybody. So, but what was so great was I was able to take 2 years off and not even think about even having to earn any money or do anything, and spend time with my wife, start a family. Now I've got a beautiful daughter, 9 years old, another beautiful daughter, 3 years old. My 9-year-old is graduating with every year, graduating with honors from a private Christian school, which is a nationally accredited school. So I'm going to say easy schooling. And then my 3-year-old daughter now is going to the same school.
Right.
And now I've got a 20-month-old son, little Tatanka Jr., little Tatanka Buffalo running around the house. And he's a bull himself. So I've been able to focus on some of the things that are very, very precious, which is family.
Right.
To have 3 beautiful children and a wife. And, thank God, because if I wouldn't have got away at that time and WWF not being able to do anything with me at that time, you know.
So basically, you were at the end of your contract. You had 2 more years in your deal, and they didn't have anything for you anyway. So
Correct. And then also, you know, there was things that all of us, you heard me talk earlier too. There are things I needed to straighten up in my life. Not that I was a big troublemaker or any of those kind of things, but things that I needed to straighten up in my life. So, you know, when I got back with my wife at home and being able to spend 2 years, we were able to focus on just us. Okay, and focus on not only spending time together because not seeing each other for so long, but hey, let's start a family.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you know, let's get our faith strong in God.
Right.
Okay, you know, because that was something I was brought up on when I was 18 years old, 17, 16. I come from Virginia, Bible Belt, all in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Going to church was like going to school.
Right.
You know, so my family used to take me to Liberty Baptist. That's where we used to go all the time. And it's something I got away from. So it's something I said, hey, we need to get back to this. So we got very, very strong with our faith, you know, which began everything mending very, very tight in our family and also starting a family. Now it's great. I'm so happy because if I'd have kept wrestling, I might not have my 3 kids right now. Because you know what guys always do, just like women in the world. Well, I got my career going as soon as I get finished here. But we're wrestling, you know. Sometimes it's 10, 15, 20 years later. And, you know, by the time it's 20 years later, it's too late for you to have a kid. Because when, you know, you don't want to wait till you're 50 years old to have a kid. Because when they're 18 years old, you're 65.
Right.
You know.
It's weird.
Yeah, you want to have them younger so you can enjoy and you can play and do the kind of things that you want to do with your kids. So it was timing. Everything's timing, and it was timing for me. And it's great where I'm at now in my life. Maybe the next question that you're going to.
You didn't have a problem using the Tatanka gimmick at all?
Well, that's a fantastic thing because when I first left WWF actually booked me independent shows, and I used my name and everything. And they actually put me out there on a couple shows, independent shows, and helped me have bookings on a few different shows. But then after that, I just stopped and I was strictly putting time with my wife. But what happened after, I really got blessed big time. And I thank God for this because Vince owned my name.
Right.
But years later, is the most tremendous thing. I had an attorney friend of mine. No, not an attorney friend of mine, excuse me. Someone from the Seminole tribe.
Okay.
Seminole tribe of Florida. And I said, you know, Chris, I'm calling you to let you know something. You know, my attorney friend was looking at some stuff and found out that, do you know that your name just expired just yesterday with WWF, your actual trademark name, and they haven't renewed it yet? I go, you kidding me? You know?
Right.
I said, you're kidding me. So I called my attorney up real quick. I said, check into this, Thaddeus. Thaddeus checked into it. He says, no application's been put in yet. I says, let's go. So I hired my attorney, paid everything, and I own the trademark.
Oh wow!
So, and what's so great, I thank Vince for approving this, and I thank Johnny Laurinaitis for approving this because I discussed this with them and all of WWE that is part of legal. Mr. Kaufman, Edward Kaufman, that discussed. Hey, I own my name, and I says, can I keep my name? And the reason why is because I'm not looking to go do something with another wrestling company after this. I was coming out of my prime and I didn't go wrestle for WCW. But what I am doing is I'm doing a lot of different projects on the humanitarian aspects of things with Native American tribes all over.
Right.
And that's one of the other reasons why I do have 1,800 contacts and some of the people that I know. And also in Washington, what they want me to be on the forefront, since I am known as a hero type of image to the Native Americans. They want me on the forefront of what's happened. So I don't want to go there and be called, well, who's that guy? No, it's Tatanka. I want to be able to go and beat Tatanka. I want to be able to go, and if I'm going to do pictures and give out pictures, I can do my own picture with my own name on it. So that's one reason. So WWE has agreed that you own the name, you'll keep the name, and no problem. Great. So that's fantastic. And I really feel blessed because of that, because very few actually own truly own their name.
Yep.
TitleMatchNetwork.com